So Battlefield 2042 may be ditching the single player campaign, but it looks like they're going to be weaving story elements into each of the character classes. We take on the role of non-patriots, so these aren't the regular soldiers that you've been used to in previous Battlefield games. These are blue and white collar workers from many different fields. You know, these soldiers don't fight for a specific country, they're fighting for our future. So first up, we've got Specialists. So a major change in this iteration of the franchise is Specialists. So previously we've had classes in Battlefield like Assault, Medic, Support and Recon. So we're going to get named characters who are going to be fleshed out with full backstories. So previously players have been limited by loadouts related to selected class, but here in 2042 those limits are being removed. For example, in Battlefield 5, if you chose the Recon class, then you'd have to use a sniper rifle, but DICE wants to give players a little more freedom to pick and choose what they want to play with. So your special ability is still going to be locked to your chosen specialist to give a sense of uniqueness, however weapons are going to be more open to pick up and choose, and that can all be done through the combat wheel. So this allows you to mix things up mid-match if you really need to. Well, next up we got the multiplayer. So the player count is being increased to 128 players on PC and also current gen consoles, so PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. But Xbox One and PS4, they're going to be catering to 64 players in total, so 32 on each side due to the technical limitations. DICE has stated though that 64 player maps, they're going to be smaller so as not to feel empty, which is a nice touch. And there are going to be 3 core multiplayer experiences: All-Out Warfare, Hazard Zone, and the final mode is being kept secret at the moment. So All-Out Warfare is an iteration on Conquest and Breakthrough, so maps are going to be huge, and they're going to need to be to cater for 128 player action. All-Out Warfare is going to be busy, intense and chaotic, plus we've got the dynamic weather changes to contend with, and the rapidly ever-evolving world event. So in the trailer shown off, we see a devastating tornado ripping up the ground, and also a few soldiers too. Tornadoes aren't the only thing we're going to have to contend with though. There's also dust storms on the desert-style maps, and DICE said you can either get out of the way of these events or use them to your advantage. So not really sure how we're going to be able to do that, but it sounds awesome. I look forward to all those gameplay clips. So Hazard Zone is up next, and this one is all about tight comms with your squad. So DICE says this is a modern take on the traditional Battlefield experience and very different to All-Out Warfare, and I'm sure we're going to get more information during the gameplay reveal coming soon. But this sounds like much more of a tactical version of team versus team play. And the final mode is being kept under wraps at the moment. It sounds like DICE, they're going to be leaving this big reveal for the EA Showcase in July 2021. Well, next up we've got some info on the Battle Pass. So much like other similar games, there's going to be a couple of options for the Battle Pass. So there's going to be a free track and a paid track. So no content is going to be locked on the Battle Pass, which is good news. So all players are going to get the same maps, specialists and weapons. So the Premium Battle Pass is going to have cosmetic options for players to unlock as they progress up the ranks of the Season Pass, and currently we've got 4 seasons mapped out on the roadmap. So it is a good thing that content isn't locked on the pass, because it is a full price game, so cosmetics do make a lot of sense. You know, in the freemium games like Apex Legends, so it does make sense for content to be locked behind the Season Pass, and that does offer an incentive to buy the premium content. So if you're really into the cosmetics, then you're likely going to be incentivized to pay for the Premium Pass. Personally, I'll probably give that one a miss, given all the content is accessible without having to pay extra. You know, if Battlefield comes to be my main game to play, then I would consider it, but at the moment I'm definitely in a wait-and-see kind of mode, so I don't really invest in skins for characters or weapons in-game, especially when the game is going to cost around £70. However, it's there for you if you really want it, and no doubt DICE is going to create some really good-looking skins that are going to grab your attention. Well, next up we got the open beta. So there's going to be an open beta. It's planned for the months leading up to the launch of Battlefield 2042, and there are no specific release dates yet, but the beta is going to be available on all the platforms the game releases on, including PC, Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One and PS4. And there's also going to be a separate tech test, which is separate from the open beta, so hopefully this is going to ensure a smooth launch. But with all games like this, I imagine day one is going to be a little bit rocky, so be prepared to temper your expectations. Well, I wanted to finish off with some first impressions. So we've only seen a cinematic trailer at the moment, but I do think there's a lot to get excited about here. You know, 128 players is going to be crazy, and I'm fairly new to the Battlefield franchise, and I have been impressed by the frantic action, the brutal time to kill, and the variety of gameplay styles. You know, I really like the fact this is near future and not too far in the distant future. So the focus on different specialisations looks really cool, and I really like the fact they aren't doing away with the story elements entirely. And I think these specialisations actually is a really smart move. They could start out in the game with a handful and then over time introduce new characters with different backstories, so character-based games like Apex, Genshin Impact clearly make a bucket load of money for the developers and the publishers, and I'm sure EA has one eye on this significant prize. So if they could pull this off, EA could be onto another winner, much like they've got with Apex Legends. Well, that is it for my roundup of everything we know about Battlefield 2042, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.
Incoming fire!
Attention all squads. The Russian troops are falling back. Do whatever you can to secure the sectors. We push them back, but not far enough. Do not let them